Evening everyone. I was all nice and prepared this evening. I was ready to go live. I'm hoping people are going to be able to find me. Although I'm on my page, I set up a I'm going live video, and I can see that I could join it, but I can't see how to run it. So technology has got the better of me. But hi Maggie, hi Janet. You found me. That's all right. It just still says on my computer this video should start soon, so I'll Google something on it later. I'll see if I can figure it out. So at least you've all found me. Hey Becca, you all right? Are you off to work this evening, or have you got a night off? Oh, I was just saying, Kim, I scheduled a video, like you can schedule the video to say I'm going live at this time, and it did a countdown, and on my computer it says this video should start soon, apparently. But I couldn't find out how on my phone to start the live without doing it manually, so I don't know. Technology has definitely got the better of me with that one. I need to look it up. So, hello. Have we all had a good week? I've had half term this week, so I braved the swimming pool with Joshua midweek, so that was fun. He had a nice time. It was nice. It was just very busy. There was lots of floats and children, as you would expect. So yeah, it was busy. And then what else have we been up to? Monday we had Mrs. Doyle. Guan. Let's not start that again. What have we been up to? Oh, Monday. I'm trying to think back. Sunday has been a busy week. Monday I had some of Joshua's school friends over and we did some crafting, so that was lovely. We did unicorns and mermaids. Shall I show you? Let me grab them. What did we do? We did it was really nice actually. There was 4 girls, and then Joshua was doing, he started, and then he decided that he would make coffees for everyone and go off and do his own thing. So we did some little notelets. Let me just oh, settings. Oh, what am I doing? No, I don't want that. I want that. Ta-da! This is when I move funny. Oh, okay. Right, so first up we had this one. So they're just really simple. They're just the little notelets. They're small. The happy birthday is from the new Eclectic Expressions. It's got a nice happy birthday and I'm using that tonight. Or am I? I don't know. And then this one, so just coloured dragon. It was just simple colouring with the watercolour pencils and the unicorn, which they all loved. So they just did a set of the 3 notelets, all the same style. And then they made a giant peg as well, so which was my favourite. So we've got magnet strip on the back, and then they just assembled the rainbow card. I think I've got a little pack here. So they just have a little pack, but they just stuck all the little rainbow bits. This is a die. So all the rainbow bits onto a bit of Whisper White. So it's just been mounted onto that, and then on with the glimmery cloud. So, and that's just for like a fridge magnet thing for holding work or whatever. It's cool, isn't it, Maggie? We might do a grown-up one of them at some point. Although I'm very happy with the unicorn and the rainbow, so there we go. So yeah, that's those. So did that on Monday, so that was fun. What else have I been up to? Oh, I got the Memories and More as a free celebration item. So these come, where are they? These ones. So they're all like purples and greys, and they've got like pretty flowers. That's a really nice one. So we've got those, and then there's the little mini ones. So there's I want to say there's 72 in the pack. There's a lot. I know I like the unicorn too, Maggie. It's cute. There's a lot in that pack. But there's a lot in there that you could do with. They're just like mini DSP cards, so you could make them up into card fronts, or you could make them up into tags, which is what I did. And I've still got loads left to play with. So this is one of them. So I've just made them up into little thank you tags, and that flower is from the new springtime foil paper, so that's another freebie. So that's just coloured with the blends, but it's got a lovely kind of rose gold foil to it, and then they were cut out. I don't think, oh, I might have a little bit actually over here. There we go. This is a little bit of the paper. How pretty is that? So those flowers were just out of that paper, so just coloured and then cut out and stuck onto the tag. So really quite straightforward, and enjoyed the colouring, so that was fun. Made those. That's about it really. So tonight I am going to be sharing with you this stamp set. So if you haven't seen it, this blooming basket one and the embossing folder, which is a basket embossing folder, is a bundle that you can get free at the moment. If you spend £90, that is the two together as a bundle. That is a free celebration item. So I'm going to make 2 cards with that. So I'm going to flip you around and get making, because my camera being the wrong way around, I'm looking all over the place. It's messing with my head. Right, let me turn this back round. Oh, that's my wall. I also need to turn you over, because everything's now back to front, and I can't do crafty back to front. There we go. Oh, come into focus. There we go. Right, onwards. So we are making like a, what's it called? A gate, is it Z-fold? So Z-fold card, and using the basket cut out on the stitched framelets, and then some little popped up butterflies, and then that's the embossing folder just tucked in there on the side. So that's what we're going to be making. I have shocked myself with how prepared I am for this evening. So no scrapping around to try and find bits of paper, and I've even got it pre-cut. I don't know how long that will last. I can't even promise it will last till next week. There we go. So it is just a half sheet of A4 folded in half and then folded back on itself. So really easy fold. I have then cut and embossed a piece of Whisper White through the embossing folder, and that has just been cut to 1/2 centimetre less than this panel size. So that panel size is 10.5 by 7.5. So this piece of paper is 10 by 7. I've managed the right way up, Kim. I'm well impressed. There's still time yet. That is going to go on there. So you could do it either way up. So you could have it debossed or embossed. So I'm going to pop that on there. So that's going to go on. And then I've got a doily. Just one of the Wistful White doilies. I'm just going to sort of eyeball that to the edge, hold it in place, and then whilst that's held, then just start to trim that down there. I think with the trimmer, I might find that actually if you try to trim and measure it, I've got a gem floating around there. If you try to trim and measure it, you might end up just rucking it on the trimmer. It's quite delicate, so I think you are better cutting it with scissors. I'm only going to stick that in the middle. I'm not worrying about the edges because the glue will all seep through there, so we just want that middle bit. And then I've got the largest of the stitched square framelets, so that comes up to 7 centimeters, that largest one. Maybe just slightly less actually, just over 6.5. So that, I've got this on the inches side, hang on. Yeah, so the yellow square is 7 by 7, so that is just slightly less than, just slightly over 6.5, but it gives a nice skinny border if you cut that coloured piece to 7 by 7. Before I stick that on, I'm going to stamp first. So you could do it either way around. You could stamp and then die cut out. So you could position it to die cut it, or you could do what I'm doing, which is pre-cut and then stamp on. So that one's not quite good enough. So that's the basket, and I want the Memento ink because I'm colouring with the blends. I thought I'd try and make a card this evening without having the heat gun going. Normally have the heat gun going for some sort of embossing. Right, can position that handle roughly there. If you'd stamped and then cut out, then you could see where you're cutting, but I think that's okay. So while I've got that stamped, I'm going to stamp a second one. So we've got that for the next card. I'll put that to one side. So, hi Alia, how are you? You had a busy week this week. I'm slightly further off on that one, but that's fine. Okay, I'm going to colour with the blends. So for this one, I've got the 2 yellows, I've got the coral as well. So I want the light coral, light Calypso coral, and I can't remember if I use dark or light pumpkin pie, so I will just kind of wing it. Right, first up, I'm just going to layer the flowers with the light yellow. I'll just pop you down a little bit just so you can see better, hopefully. I'm going to colour in those flowers first. I really like these flowers. They're really nice to colour. Then I'm going to add a touch of the dark. So just going kind of under each petal, I suppose, sort of in the folds. I'm not being too fussy because this is going to be blended out, but just adding some shadows. Let's see how the... So I'm going to just add some oranges, which is the Calypso Coral. And I am going to put a touch of the... oh, no, that was Light Pumpkin Pie. I'm going to put a touch of the orange, but not loads. Just in some of the creases. The thing is, you can just... I don't really worry about, I suppose, like the right place for the shadows or the shading or the colour, because they'll all look different anyway. Yeah, that's too dark. So, right. Let's just blend that out. So I'm just circling round. Oh, Alia, I hope you feel better, and I don't think it does any harm to have a restful weekend. I don't think we perhaps do it enough. Okay, so I just want to blend that a bit more. I absolutely agree, Justin. I think it would make a brilliant Easter card. It would make a nice kind of thinking of you. It would make a nice Mother's Day. I just think this basket of flowers is just so perfect for so many sentiments and occasions. Right, greens. I do like to use both the greens, so touch of that. So just putting the light down, and then I'm just gonna, I know it doesn't have anywhere specific to colour, but I am just putting a touch of the green on the spriggy bits. So just putting dots of the dark. If you try and colour with the dark, it will just flood that space because it's too small. So just like a tiny little dot is enough, just to have enough colour to pull that dark down. There we go. And there's still some white spaces and stuff on there, so that's fine. And then last but not least, we've got the crumb cake. So I want the dark crumb cake and the light crumb cake. So light crumb cake, super easy. Big tip, just fill it all in. And then round the handle. And then with the dark, I have just followed the line with some of the basket lines. Again, nothing too perfect, but it does add nice shading. And the same on the handle. So just a touch of the dark. And I haven't done every other line. I haven't done it like for hours. I've just added and a little bit of dark underneath the flowers there. There you go. So that one's coloured in. That's just going to get glued up onto the 7 by 7 centimetre square. So it's going to go on there. Then the panel inside the card is just the same as like a card front. So that's going to get cut to 14 9.5 centimetres by 10.2, and that just gives a skinny border on that inside piece. So that's going to sit like that. And for that, I'm going to stamp for this one on my sample one I had Here For You, which I think is lovely. But I'm going to make this into a birthday card because I've got birthday cards in March that I need to send out. So for this one, I'm going to pop something on there that's birthday. That I didn't have prepared, so I'm just scouring my shelf. What's got nice birthday sentiments in it? Happiest of birthdays to you, that one will do. Oh, I loved it. You've got to have a good duvet, even when you're not unwell. You've got to have a good duvet day now and again. There's nothing better. Right, happiest of birthdays. I'm going to do that in the black. Oh no, I'm not. Change your mind. I'm going to do it in crumb cake because I quite like the crumb cake. Just test that out. There's plenty of space for that to come there. And then we want the little butterflies from this set, which are super cute. So there's a little butterfly and there's a little tag. So I'm going to use a little butterfly out of that. I'm going to firstly just stamp it in black. Just to position where I want these to go. So 1, 2, 3. And then we need the same again on a piece of, oh, I lobbed the ink on that, never mind. That'll be covered up. That'll be fine, it'll be covered up. Didn't realise I caught the ink pad. Right. Then let me grab a little bit of scrap actually. These bits. 1, 2, and I need 3 for the other card, so I'll just colour all at the same time. So for this, I'm just going to again, colour yellow. And it doesn't matter if I go over the edges with this because I'm going to cut them out. And then pop a little bit every day should be a PJ day, Kim. It should be the rules. Kim says a PJ day. It's my every Sunday. Right. Those ones we'll hang on to for the next card. So these ones we're just going to quickly snip out. I am not going to cut out those tiny feelers, which I was told last week they're not antlers, they're feelers. they're gone because they're on the card there, so I don't need them on the cut out bit, plus that's too fiddly. So we'll lose those bits. And let's go around there, that's one. There's no die for these, in case anyone watching is thinking, oh, I wonder if there's a die for these. There's no die for these. So it is fussy cutting. But I think it's worth it for the little, they're cute. Hello. Got more people joining. I'm sorry I wasn't live on my original video link. I don't know, the technology escaped me. I couldn't figure out how to get to that, so I should be Googling that later as to how to do that. I may have more luck next week. Right, That's the third one cut out. So that's those. I'm just going to pop them on with a tiny dot of glue. I'm going to just stick this one out the way as well. So just half the panel, because the other bit's going to be sticking over and you don't want that gluey. So that's going to go over there. And these butterflies are going to go on the top of these. So you want just a tiny dot in the middle. I'm not putting glue all over. And then I'm going to pop that down and just hold that on with the pokey tool. Piercing tool, probably the correct name, but I think everyone refers to it as the pokey tool. There we go. Ta-da! Nearly there, nearly there. So that's that one. And then that background in there. So you've still got plenty of space to write your sort of sentiment or your card hidden in that bit when the card is closed. And there you have a little zip fold. So there you go. Oh, twine. That's what I was going to say. Oh, I nearly forgot. So I've got some twine. And I'm just going to fold that in half and then tie a bow. So I've got a double bow. Well, not a double bow, but do you know, like 2 lots of string? So I'm going to loop it round and then tie that. Tie that knot tight, and then you can hold the knot and pull the bow back to be smaller. So you can then like froof with it and then snip those tails off. I want one shorter than the other, just to make it look like I meant to do it like that. I did. Right, so that's those, and then that'll just go on with a glue dot. So that will go on with a glue dot. So just going to pop that to the side of the basket and pop that on there. So that just gives it a little finish. You could add some gems and stuff if you wanted to with the butterflies, but I think that is fine as is. So that's card number 1. So I'm going to do exactly the same fold for card number 2, but we're going to make use of another celebration item. So for this one, just fold the card in half. Everyone's like, oh no, a bow, a bow. I'm slightly behind. I'm onto the card folding now. So everyone else is saying about the bow. Okay. Right, and that gets folded back. I might just, while I'm not colouring, I'm just going to move that up a bit so you can see more of my messy table. Right, that was the embossed piece, so exactly the same as before. So just a little bit of glue around the edge. That's going to go on there. Again, a doily. And you could wet glue that on if you want, but again, just the middle bit. And then I have a panel and this and the, oh, that's more organised than I thought. I've just found a background piece already pre-cut. Check that out. Right. Right, basket. So this one, I'm going to colour the basket light dark, light, dark, light. So light, and then Pat said she needs to practice. Bows, it is just practice. It's get some cheap ribbon and sit and have a practice and a play and cut some and practice tying them. But it's just being kind of really like, I wouldn't say forceful, but like tie a bow like you mean it. Don't be kind of, if it's too loose, it doesn't kind of come together nicely. You want to kind of tie a decent knot. On this, I'm going to colour the green bits, but I'm not colouring the flowers. So I'm going to colour those and just put a bit of green on that like foliage bit. And then I'm going to get the lots of lavender. So so I'm going to pop that to one side for a minute. I will come back to that. So for this one, oh, I don't want archival, I want memento. Just clean that, put that out of my way. Although the archivals, or like, it's fine as a black, if you're using the blends, because it's permanent in the same way that the blends are, the blends will shift that line, whereas memento is water based, so they won't smudge your lines. So I want 3 of these. And I'm not doing really what's the word, like fussy cutting, fussy colouring. I'm just going to keep this fairly simple. So light blend, just touch that. I'm going to cut this out anyway, so there is definitely something very relaxing about colouring. I'm going to use the fine tip, it's probably easier. Let me just, again, hopefully not, I'll just push you in a little bit closer. I'm hoping the lighting's okay. It's tricky with the colouring in the dark. Well, I'm not in the dark, but in the evenings to get a good amount of light on a video. But and that one. These I probably should have coloured earlier for you, but where it's kind of grouped together, you can kind of colour it as one. These pens are just so lovely to colour with, Pat. They're the blend pens, so they're alcohol based, and you don't get kind of the same streaky effect you would get from a felt tip type water based marker pen. The lines all blend out. Don't get me wrong, I still do like my watercolouring and things, but these are lovely to colour with. So we're just going to add some touches of the dark. Again, I'm just adding touches in. I am definitely not taking... oh, I've missed that whole sprig. Didn't notice that. You didn't tell me. Right. They're a good thing to have on your wish list, Pat. Definitely. I think the thing with them as well is, like, if you say had this stamp set, you would definitely want the greens and kind of the crumb cakes, and then you could pick a couple of colours and then you can kind of add to them. You don't have to have them all at the same time. You could just buy the colours that go with the kind of that you want to colour the particular stamp set with, and then next time you get another stamp set, choose the colours that go with them that you might not already have, so you can kind of add to them that way. If you didn't want to do them all in a oneer, because that's a big outlay. So right, they are coloured. I want the green for the leaves. And the stems. I don't know why I'm bothering with the stems actually, don't need them. Alright. Those, I'm going to do purple bows because I don't have any imagination on that at this precise moment, and I don't think they'll be in view. There we go. I'm going to do my very best to cut these out as quickly as humanly possible, so excuse the rough cutting, but you'll get the idea. These bits can the stem bits can genuinely be cut like that, even if you were doing a really lovely cutting job on these, and you'll see why in a moment. So I can't be bothered to cut around those spriggy bits, so they're going. Who needs them anyway? So I'm leaving a reasonable amount of white, so you can then just move the scissors, move the paper and cut towards the back of the scissors. And then, there we go. One down, two to go. Who has this stamp set? I like this stamp set. You do a lot with it. The lavender comes with, you don't have to colour it in. You can have like a stamped overlay. So the stamp set has this, which will colour that for you if colouring's not your bag. Or it also gives you just a different look to the stamp set as well. So I like the fact you can play around with the way that that looks. And if you stamped this and embossed it in, say, white and then watercoloured it, that would give you a different way to use that again. But I think for me, the blends has to be my favourite with this one. Okay. Last one. Nearly there, nearly there. I love the fact you're sticking with me. Thank you. Watch me cut out as fast as I can. It'll be worth it, I promise. I think it's really, I really desperately want Stampin' Up to bring out blends in Melon Mambo as well. There is a light, is it Pink Pirouette? Yeah, there's a light, that's Pink Pirouette. There's a light pink, but I'd love the blends in the bright pink. That would be lovely. Especially for summer, I think there needs to be. Hey Liz! Right, lavender is cut, blends are done with, methinks. Oh no, I needed the butterflies, hang on. hold fire. Just have a little clear up. Just move that out of the way. That's all right, you're forgiven. I'll let you off this one time, don't do it again. Liz says she's late. It's fine. Right, I need now you come for the best bit. I've coloured and cut these out, which everyone else has kind of watched me froof about with. I need right, you could do this on a thingy mat with a craft knife. I'm doing that because you all clearly know what I mean, but you know, a cutting and die hard. Oh goodness me, a cutting mat, just a cutting mat. You could do it on a cutting mat with a craft knife. However, I'm not going to get mine out. I'm just going to be really careful that I'm not going to stab my fingers. I'm going to put because the snips are nice and sharp, they'll go through. So I'm going to cut along the basket. Do you see where I'm going? Right. So now I get rid of that little bit, which is why a craft knife might be better, because it won't ruck those bits. I'll get rid of that. I am then going to put the lavender in the basket rather than the flowers. So instead we're going to tuck the lavender in. I'm going to have that down there. So I'm just going to take a little snip to that lavender. Oh, can we see? I've got a little snip, so that will kind of sit over the edge. But the little bits of green behind are still poking through. See, Liz, you come to me, come for it, you know, not just crafting, flower arranging as well. And that one is going to just tuck. I'm going to snip that one as well. So tiny little snip, and then that will just sit to the bend. Oh, see, look. I knew I didn't want that sprig for a reason. That's got to go. It was ugly looking. Let's get rid of that. Da, 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 da. I want that one in front. Oh my goodness, stop proofing, woman. Right. Whoop. When I finish faffing around. Right, so when you finished arranging your lavender, you can then just trim off. See, I said you wouldn't need those bits there. And then we're going to pop some double-sided tape just to hold those. So this is just the tear and tape. So we're just going to pop a bit of tape, hold them in place. You may or may not want to peel that tape back off. I'm going to leave it because I'm going to pop the whole thing up on this one on dimensionals. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals over that anyway. So if you've already got the lavender, you now need the basket to put your lavender in. Not saying that the flowers that come in the basket aren't beautiful, but it's just another way to use it. So there you go. That's on there, and then that's going to go on this card. So that again is just gonna glue halfway across and then onto there. And then I always like to stamp before I stick it down. It always gives me a second chance to redeem myself. Right, let's put that on there. And, oh, see, I've lobbed it from somewhere. There was a reason I didn't stick it. And just going to go there. Leaves you funny. I'll show you that card in a minute. I made another card with the flowers into a wreath. So I would do, oh, it's hanging up there. I'll grab it in a second. Again, the butterflies, just to position them. These are going to come off here. And then that looks mighty squint. Hang on. Something about me and squint cards on my Facebook Lives. Let's just manoeuvre that around slightly. It's better. Sit straight. These are going to be coloured. Don't need to worry about staying in the lines. Although that's maybe a little extreme, but you get the idea. There we go. So purple middles, and then blend out. And then these can cut out. So if you're wanting to colour a lot of these butterflies to cut out, you could do them super quick in that way and not worry about staying in the lines. So there you go. Nearly there. I think it's nice to have like the little extra touches inside the card. Adds a little something. And that is number 2, number 3. Oh, thanks, Ali. I love lavender too. I think it's really pretty and I do like the smell of it, but I think it is one of those things. I think lavender's a bit like Marmite. You either love it or hate it. Some people don't particularly like the smell. Could use a small butterfly punch, Maggie. It would probably be less painful than watching me cut out tiny little butterflies. I'm not sure the punch fits that one, but you could definitely use the small butterflies to add a little butterfly on if you had that. So same as before, small touch of glue in the middle, and then I've just popped them on. And just held it in place with the, oh, I'm not sure about, Ali is saying lavender chocolate. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it. Never know, I might like it. I'm not sure I like the sound of it. That's really bad, isn't it? I wonder where my son gets his fussy eating from. I'd say it's not me. Right. There we go. So we have done 2 cards, same basket, different flowers. There you have it. If you were wanting to get your hands on this bundle, the lavender is in the bundle with the embossing folder up until the 31st of March. So once you get to the 1st of April, this will no longer be available, and this folder won't be available until the 1st of June. So you will be able to buy this folder on its own when the main catalogue comes out in June. But this stamp set will no longer be available. It's a celebration only special. So if you would like it, now's the time to grab it. Much prefer a Snickers, don't you think? Snickers sounds good. I like Snickers, Mars and Snickers ice creams. They're so nice. Right, okay, so I'm going to flip the camera back around and I'm going to share with you the card that I used these flowers for into a wreath. So, there we are. Hello, hello. I hope you like those. This is the same flowers. I've had this on my blog, so if you've been on my blog, then you'll have seen this. So these flowers into a wreath. So I have stamped the wreath, not the wreath, I've stamped the basket of flowers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times maybe, and then embossed them in white, and then I have fussy cut them out. So you do need to be a lover of fussy cutting. If fussy cutting is not your bag, that's probably not the card for you. But there you go. So what I'm going to do this evening, I've been doing it a couple of times with my Facebook Lives. If you've commented and you've joined me for the Facebook Live, then I will, not the happiest of birthday ones because I need them to send out. But these two that I had made as my demo cards, I will pick names out of a hat and I will pop them in the post to 2 lucky people. And Liz is like, and you won yeah, it was the Global Design Project Challenge and my card got picked as one of the winners' cards. So that was exciting. I think I've said before, but challenges are a particularly good way to get your layouts and kind of inspiration for colour. So if you're stuck for making a card, there's lots of challenges out there. The Inspire Create Challenge, there's a new one up on Wednesday, and they've got a theme this week. I've been making a card for that one. The Global Design Project is a great one to join in, and there's a few others. So just have a look. I'll post them up on my Coastal Crafter forum, some links that you could join in. So thank you very much for joining me. As I say, anyone who's been joining me this evening or comments following this, I will put names in a hat at random and I'll message you for your address and I will pop them out in the post to you. So there you go. I'll put the photos up onto my Facebook page and Instagram as well, because I have been super organised and I've already taken photos of them. Check me out. It won't last. So that's it. I will see you next Sunday, and thank you for all joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye everyone.